Greetings from South Korea. I am Arirang News AI anchor. Here is the news making headlines today. Korea's stock market value surpassed a historic milestone on Friday, with the KOSPI breaking 9,300 on Friday, led by strong retail buying. The index surged 225.05 points or 2.48% from the previous session's close to touch the record high. The combined stock market capitalization also topped 8,000 trillion won, or $5.2 trillion for the first time. Market heavyweight SK hynix saw its market capitalization hit the 2,000 trillion won mark, or $1.3 trillion, becoming only the second individual stock to do so after Samsung Electronics. Investor sentiment was boosted by overnight gains in U.S. chip stocks in news of technology partnerships in the global semiconductor sector. Korea's producer prices extended their upward trend for the ninth consecutive month in May, continuing a rise that began in September last year. According to the Bank of Korea on Friday, the producer price index in Korea rose 0.8% from a month earlier in May. It was up 8.5% from a year earlier, marking the fastest annual growth since July 2022. Prices for electricity, gas, water and waste management services rose 0.5% on month. That marked the biggest increase in nearly 4 years, following a surge in energy prices after the outbreak of the Russia-Ukraine war. The 60-day implementation period under the U.S Iran agreement has officially taken effect. Speaking at the White House on Thursday, U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance confirmed that the clock had already begun ticking. A formal signing ceremony was scheduled in Switzerland for Friday. But according to the BBC, mediator Pakistan said it had been cancelled after the agreement was signed remotely. Vance had said he would likely travel to Switzerland for technical negotiations. But later Thursday, a White House spokesperson said the vice president would not be departing that night, casting further uncertainty over the diplomatic timetable. Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Mojtaba Khamenei says he initially opposed the recently signed Memorandum of Understanding between Tehran and Washington, but ultimately approved the agreement after receiving assurances from Iranian officials that the country's interests would be protected. In a statement carried by Iranian state media on Thursday, Khamenei said he held a different opinion on the deal but authorized it after President Masoud Pezeshkian and other senior officials pledged to safeguard what he called the rights of the nation. He added that those officials accepted responsibility for the agreement. Khamenei also warned that Iran would reject any additional demands from Washington, saying Iran's leadership would not accept what he described as American greed. At the same time, he endorsed future direct talks with the United States, stressing that face-to-face negotiations would not imply acceptance of Washington's position. Iran opened applications for transit through the Strait of Hormuz on Thursday, following the preliminary MOU with the U.S. Under the agreement, Iran will allow ships to pass through the strait free of charge for 60 days with transit fees waived. According to Iran's Supreme National Security Council, the Persian Gulf Strait Authority will process the applications. With 24 Korean vessels stranded in the waterway, shipping firms are expected to submit their applications for individual ships. The government will maintain real-time communication with the ships, which are expected to use an Iran-proposed alternative route to avoid potential mines. That is all from me today. Thank you for watching.